कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम. All right. Oh, it was Manisha ji in this. I think the name is Soham. I thought it was. All right. So, can someone recollect what is it that we saw last so we can take it ahead? We had stopped at that interesting shloka. Atmaiva bandhuratmanah, Atmaiva ripuratmanah. Yes, please. Can form the link so we can move ahead. Anybody? Anything we can recollect. So we can form the link and move ahead. Yes? Hari Om. Manisha ji has already shared very nice notes in the group. You could even revise the same notes.
Shall I try?
Yes, ji. Certainly.
Okay. We had learned about the technique, one of the techniques of pranayama, that is controlling the inhalation and exhalation by concentrating on the between the eyebrows. We concentrate, and that is how the yogis they attain. They do the pranayama, and I mean that is one of the steps of doing meditation. Before they first they control their breath and then they can meditate, and then Sri Krishna said that I am the Maheshwar who is receiving all the offerings. I am the source, and all the offerings are going to the same destination. And again, the next adhyay, the sixth adhyay, we learned, started with somebody who doesn't have expectation cannot be trapped. And it is when you show your expectation to your enemy, you reveal your weakness. And that is not desirable. Like you should not be in and you can liberate yourself if you're without any expectation. then then you attain the true sense of oneness. And um, and the yogi arises through his karma, the self mastering, through self mastery. And uh, and uh, also the wisest among the wise is one who can control his indriyas. And last is about the Atman or the self, who can be the, if we are connecting ourselves to the higher self, then the self is a friend. And if we like if we get connected to our lower self, then the self is the enemy. And and when the lower self pull is conquered, then we can attain, that is the pulls of Prakriti. Then we can attain liberation, and we can recognize the God who is within us and attain liberation, is what we understood.
All right. Thank you very much, Manishi. Indeed, Atmaiva bandhuratmanah, Atmaiva ripuratmanah. A simple fact. When you don't realize that there is a divinity inside of you, then your enemy is sitting inside only. But If you recognize that, yes, I am meant to walk on the higher path, I am meant to not get carried away by these lower pulls of nature. I am not going to allow anger to take control. I am not going to allow desire to overpower me. When we are in this state, we can say we have a friend sitting inside. So I think it is important to have the state of mind. It makes a lot of difference in life, in sadhana, wherever we are. Let us continue. Krishna is continuing. Seventh shloka of the sixth adhyay. Such a person is a victor. He's called the Jitendra, Jitatmanaha. Different names like this for that person who has overcome these pulls. Because this is the nature, isn't it? We will become angry easily. Something will happen which will disappoint us. And we will react. Why? Because this is the nature. It is like a system that works. But do we surrender to the system always? Or should we try to use the system for the betterment of our individual self or society? I think it is the latter, not in surrendering. It is like even in a computer system. When you have bugs, what do you do with the bugs? You don't discard the system. You try to sort the bugs out. You try to remove them and make it more efficient. That is exactly what a yogi does. It is called Atmashuddhi. And this process of cleansing and purification. And he realizes that this is needed in our life. We should experience the joy, we should experience the bliss. There is no necessity that we have to suffer. Yes, we will face experiences of life which will be shocking, disappointing, disturbing. All that is right. We will feel pain. We have receptors, isn't it, in our body? Touch receptors, tactile receptors also. They give us the experience of pain. If you remove them, probably we'll never feel pain, and sometimes that's a problem also. I'd asked my mother when I was very young, Ma, why is this pain there? It should not be there. It should not be there at all. She gave a beautiful answer. She said, while you are playing, you get hit on the leg. It starts bleeding. You see the pain, you feel the pain, and then you decide to be a little more careful. But if you did not feel pain, what would happen? You would injure yourself. The pain would just, if there was a wound, that wound would remain open and you would be oblivious to it. So you will never realize it. In the end, you will end up bleeding a lot. So that is why pain has a purpose, is what she had told me. And I think, yes, we cannot ignore pain in our life. It will come, emotional, physical, mental, whatever types, all pains will come, but we don't need to suffer. Attaching on to that pain is what causes suffering. Krishna is asking us to draw a line there. Yes, what is not favorable? All right. You don't have to call what is not favorable as favorable. You can accept it, but don't get attached to it. That's the shloka of a person. This one, Jitatmanaha. He is the one who has won himself. He has won in within. Means he has got that friend seated with him. Jitatmanaha prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayohu. The victor of the self experiences the perfect peace. And in that greatest oneness, all fluctuations cease, neither in heat or cold, nor in loss or gain. And in honor or dishonor, finds not he glory or pain. So this person is there balanced in the moments of happiness, moments of sorrow, when it is hot, when it is cold, in honor also and dishonor also. He's not getting feeling extra. He's not feeling like I have got great glory because I got this honor. And in dishonor, he does not feel. He does not suffer because, oh, this person insulted me. My question is, can this state be achieved by us in our practical life? Can we achieve it? Is it possible to be balanced? Or do we have to get excited in the good moments and jump up and down like a young teenager? And then when things don't go our way, start wailing. Do we have to, are we, doomed to that life only, where we are going to react to every outer circumstance? Or this is a possible way of life? Anybody? Can we not be excited in the moments of honor? Yes, Karthik ji said first, or yeah, Karthik ji,
It,
and then I'll go to Renu ji. Yes, ji.
it's definitely possible, but I think it takes a lot of training to
Training and willpower, isn't it? So
willpower.
first,
Yes.
Means if we aspire, we can. But if we don't think it's necessary, then we'll never aspire. But if we try, I think all those who aspire, all those who seek only can find. So that aspiration is required. But for that, recognition of this need is important first. If you feel it's not necessary, then it will not. Renuji, what were you saying, Ji? Yes, ma'am.
The same thing. The sthiti of sthit pragya. We
This is
have
the
to be.
Siddha Prajna.
Yes.
But can we be, when we are being honored, we like it, no? When a lot of people praise us, give us honor. Can we be, how do we be balanced? Should we shout at the person who is honoring us?
No, we
No.
have to just submit all those things to the master, the higher self which is within us. We are not
So,
being honest.
so
We
if
have to.
somebody honors you, you are so great. If somebody tells this, you are so great, you are so wonderful, you are so wise, how will you react
I say
in this
that
state?
since you are having that thing in you, so you are looking at me in such way.
Okay, that is we can take it without, it may feel good. It may feel good. Of course, it feels good when people praise, but
Yes,
getting carried away.
that you are very beautiful. मतलब आपकी आंखें सुंदर हैं, आप सुंदर हैं, इसीलिए आपको ये सुंदरता दिखाई पड़ रही.
Ah, okay. So that way you can, means it is possible.
Yes,
Okay, so when people are saying good things, you like it little bit on the inside, you may be happy, but you're able to brush it aside. So this is okay, but the opposite, when people insult you, that becomes more difficult, isn't it? To remain Sthita Prajna. Yes,
yes, that
Karthik
is.
ji?
So can we say that just say humility would be a common factor
Yeah, humility
for
will be a
this?
common factor because means one side is a favorable one, so it's all right. Means it's like when you have money and then you decide I'm not going to spend, it's a different situation. But when you don't have money and that time you decide also, arey, means there is a what we can say a dearth, a shortage. But even at that time, you are able to remain balanced and calm and peaceful. And that is exactly what it is when you are being dishonored also. And you are being hurled the worst insults, which you don't agree with at all. But it's okay, you are not taking it. That is the important stage. Yes, Renuji wants to say something? Yes, please.
Yes, what I am practicing nowadays, how to take the insult.
Ha.
Uh, when somebody is shouting or he or she is not in a good state, I have a feeling that he is more in pain than me. That's why this is his or her condition. So I develop a compassion for him or her. That there
Yes.
is something very much wrong
Okay.
in that person which he or she is undergoing. So this helps
Okay.
me to keep myself calm. This I'm
Okay.
practicing because taking insult or somebody criticizing me, even if I'm not wrong, it's really very painful for me. But
Ji,
when
ji, ji.
I have that perception, then I just calm down.
Yes, yes. So this is a balance because there may be a reason, there may be no reason also. Just understand that insult does not evaluate me. Just as the praise also does not increase my market value, insult does not reduce my market value. I have my own value and that is incomparable. I may not be better than anybody, I may not be, and I am not worse than anyone also. I am myself, this realization. So there you are able to take, all right, this person thinks you are a fool. He has the right to have that perception. Whether it is correct or not is a different aspect. Where am I to stop another person from having a different perception? So this one step is required. So this poise will help us. And what is the reason? Why do we need that poise? Because a whole new world awaits us. A whole new world of various experiences, greater awareness. You know what happens when you are sensitive? If you are oversensitive, you are in trouble. But if you are in the right manner, in the middle, we can say, you are able to understand. Like Renuji is saying, she's able to feel that even the person who is insulting, she's able to see that, okay, this is why. It's so easy. It was like one professor once in college was going and shouting at everybody. Everybody was getting irritated and frustrated. Why is he doing? The person who received that shouting, all of it. Another person found out ki, the reason this happened is this person hit his head on the wall. So he is taking out his frustration from somewhere and he is doing it. So the person who got scoldings after knowing this, he said, he is speaking nonsense. See, his head hit on the wall, that irritation is taking out on me. I am not going to receive it. But the other person, I have done so much. Why is he talking to me like this today? I can't believe it. And that person is in a great sorrow. Why he has taken all of it? We will understand these are the forces, these are psychological forces. They are at play at all the time. If you are conscious, it's like you can actually eat popcorn and watch these forces play wherever you go. You go to a party, you go to a gathering, you go to a meeting. These forces are always at play. They are called, we can say, the play of gunas. We will be introduced later in the Gita, how these gunas flow in individuals. So if you are understanding, ki chalo, these are just flows of gunas happening. I am not going to lose my direction. I am not going to get carried away. That is how the yogi is able to awaken himself. We can say, such a person is jitatmana. Praise, okay. Even insult he is able to take. And sometimes I think we need to get insulted in life. If you are not insulted, no, but praise is all right. Praise will come, that will take us further higher. But insult is the perfect way to remain grounded. Best way to remain grounded. And you have no option, isn't it? You have to remain grounded at that time. Otherwise, you are going to again fall. Sindhuji wants to share something, is it? Yes,
Yes,
ma'am?
sir. If we are too much sensitive for insult, then we are vulnerable, sir.
Ah,
People
we are
take
vulnerable. We
advantage
are
of us.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
And then
I
we
have
try to avoid.
experienced it.
Yes, yes, yes. So we should not. We should not. Chalo, one person in the Gita work only. Stop wasting my
Mm.
time. That person told in the class. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm wasting my time, but what is the reason? I tried to understand. And one interesting aspect was the person had come for the second time. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm wasting the time for the second time. But why? Because I gave one example which that person felt was I used Sant Tukaram's quote. So I said, she said, don't speak in another language which I don't understand. So I said, I'm sorry, I will continue because this is, I cannot change the original quote, but I will translate it. But I will use less quotes if you want. I will use less quotes. But we continued. But this aspect is, that's a point, isn't it? If you look at it, maybe that person wanted to take the most of it and felt this is not required. But that is all right. No? If you are getting carried away, why? धक्का क्यों दिया? या तूने क्यों लिया is the question. Why did this person push? Why did he receive it? It's all right. He pushed because he wanted to. He had no sense. He had a reason. He didn't have a reason. Sometimes we will never understand certain reasons also. Why did this person behave? We might get a PhD also in behavioral psychology, but still we will not be able to identify why that particular person. Because that is the way of Prakriti. It's unpredictable. It is not something we are going so many questions in life will not be answered. Instead, if we are able to be poised, we will be able to understand. And later on, it's actually when we see the gunas, no, in the term of gunas, we will see the gunas not in others also, in ourselves also, we'll watch them. Ki acha, and there is this beautiful doha of Kabir Das. बुरा जो देखन मैं चला बुरा न मिलिया कोई जो दिल खोजा आपुना मुझसा बुरा न कोई. I searched inside. I went in search of bad people and I found nobody. And when I searched inside, I saw the worst person was inside me only. Now, of course, Kabir Das was not a bad human being. Is a great one. But what is this? Well, in Atmashuddhi, they do not want, they want 100% purity, no impurities on the inside. And they are trying to improve continuously and consciously. So instead of the outside, we can focus inside, watch ourselves. Let the storm outside not enter inside. That is what we can do. Krishna goes on. Because that balance is required for the future. Means in sadhana also, once the initial path is different, initial path has so many hurdles which are what we can say very obvious and visible. Sometimes even physical hurdles we come across. But afterwards there are sukshma hurdles. Those hurdles have to be overcome. Who is going to overcome it? Only somebody who is conscious. Otherwise, it is again, it is a very what we can say. It's not always an easy path, but it is a very straight path if you are able to not get carried away. Krishna goes on. Let us see. Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. Kutastho Vijitendriyaha. Yukta Ityuchate Yogi. Samaloštashma Kanchanaha. So, with this knowledge, with the self gnosis, poised he remains, unaffected by senses, and tranquil in all planes, and regards alike clay, gold, or stone. Towards all objects, and equanimity is shown. So this balance, oneness, Samata or Samatvam Yoga Uchyate is towards all objects also. In difficult times and good times, all right. But now Krishna is saying even objects, he is able to treat clay, gold, and stone as one. Is this possible? Treating clay, gold, and stone as one. Yes, anybody? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. All right. Anybody? Manisha ji?
Yes, because
I
all
will,
have
yes.
limitation.
Okay,
All
so
have all have.
I will send you my address. Please send all the gold that you have. I will replace it with stone.
I'll
What is
try.
the yes, ji?
I'll try my
Oh, you'll
utmost
try.
to stand by my word.
Okay, fine. I'm not asking for that, of course. But I think this sameness, what I think that's wonderful. Manisha ji is actually, she's not having that attachment also. That is true. But this aspect of oneness, in the sense clay, gold, and stone, is identifying the value of each and not getting carried. Sometimes people see each other in parties and, hey, what is that gold? That gold that person is wearing. But the fire is burning in somebody else's eyes. The jealousy. So many fights have happened over wealth. Brothers, what is Kurukshetra again? Big property battle going on only, isn't it? So many homes, fights are taking place over what? So what has happened here? Somewhere that Veda has taken place so much that this is ultimately the most important thing. Gold will only give me the purchasing power to purchase clay also, stone also. So I must run after gold. So seeks the, what we can say, um, somebody who is after wealth so much. He feels I will acquire all the wealth and I will acquire happiness. But does wealth guarantee happiness? The same person who is after wealth, if he is trapped in a desert, if you give him a glass of water, he'll be willing to share all, replace all the gold that he has earned for a glass of water in the desert because that point, that kala, that desha, that paristhiti, there is nothing that is more important than that. Sometimes people say, go to doctors, doctor, I'll give you all the wealth that I have, but to make me all right. Is it wealth that is making it? Wealth is, it is a part. Means a lot of time on the spiritual path, people have discarded wealth. They say, no, wealth is bad. Wealth is bad. All the good people said wealth is bad, so wealth went to bad people. Wealth is what? The representation of Ma Lakshmi on the Prithvi, on the Bhuloka, isn't it? Goddess Lakshmi's representation, isn't it? Prosperity. She is what Goddess Lakshmi. So where should it happen? Should the force of Mahalakshmi go into the hands of the Asurs? Or should the Devas receive that force and use it for Lokasangraha, for the betterment of the world? Well, that is the case. So this aspect, it is not, Gita is not talking about a complete asceticism. It is about embracing and understanding. Desha, Kala, Paristhiti. Clay also is more important. Can you make a beautiful, with the way you can mold clay, can you mold anything else? No, absolutely not possible. Clay is required for molding. Clay also has healing properties that way. Sometimes clays, anybody knows of using clay for treating of wounds? Has anybody heard of that? Yes?
I've heard of mud bath. That is the clay
Yeah.
bath.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
mud put on the stomach and eyes also for
Yes,
treatment.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Naturopathy.
Yes, and our Damladi's primary product was herbomineral, herbs and clays together, and that is the used for treatment also. So many different aspects. Mrittika, there's even Mrittika Suktam, Mrittike, Pratishtite, Tanme, Nurunada Mrittike. It is considered sacred, it is considered pure, it has so many symbolisms. So each has its value. We must understand it and not get attached to it, being able to, just because if for you gold is everything, will you do anything for gold is the question. And Sindhuji said, yes, I cannot fully distinguish, but Sindhuji will certainly be able to distinguish that, isn't it, madam? If gold is
Yes,
being
sir.
offered,
Yes.
I'll give you this much gold, will you do this work against Swadharma? No, isn't it? Even if all the gold is offered in the world, My Swadharma, I will not let go. I will not do what is wrong, what is inhuman, what is unacceptable to my inner self. So their value has immediate, because you have understood the true value. Then this material value, what is the exchange rate, what is the market rate? Market rates will keep fluctuating, but that inner value does not change. So this is how you must be able to look at is what Krishna is talking about. Means objects also. These are objects ultimately, isn't it? Ultimately, it's clay, gold, stone also. The strength of stone, I don't think clay can have it. Gold is absolutely not having it also. It's just malleable, so malleable. Look at stone, it's rigid. They say patthar ki lakir, written on stone, that which is not, it cannot be erased. We've heard of Rosetta Stone, isn't it? The founding stone where there are these secrets of interpretation of this Egyptian ancient writings. So it was written in stone so that it is never lost. And it remained. Maybe what else was in clay or gold, all those things disappeared afterwards. Somebody stole the gold, the clay again broke. So each has its value, and Krishna is saying, when you get that poise, when you get that inner balance, then you will remain poised at all times. Sant Tukaram had actually thrown away a Paris money. That was what they call like a philosopher's stone that can turn metal into gold. There's a beautiful story. He threw it, and that because he threw it, said, "This is going to create trouble in the village. I don't need this." And he threw it into the river. His wife was frustrated. "I'm not getting proper meal in the house. I'm not able to make. And this man has this, and he's thrown it away because he understood its value. He could understand what he was inviting and what he threw away. He knew about it. But it did not belong to him. So his one businessman's wife had given it to Tukaram's wife, fully conscious that Tukaram has no greed. So that will be the safest place to keep while I go away. So when he came back, they all accused him. Why did you steal it? I don't believe you threw it. You must have stolen it. Even that businessman, he got it as a blessing because of his pious nature. But because he was so attached to wealth, he went on to accuse this person who was like, who's Tukaram, because of his greed. Tukaram insulted. Wife was already shouting at him, this person is crazy, useless person. But now village is calling us thieves because of him. She was perennially angry with him. Even when he was getting moksha, he said, I will come with me. She said, no, I am not coming with you. So he had to walk on his own. So what did was he took that businessman. Come, I'll tell you. You want a stone, isn't it? You want a philosopher's stone? Yes, yes. Come, I'll give you the Paris money. He comes and he just picks up an ordinary pebble, calling up the name of Panduranga, Panduranga, and he picks it up. That ordinary pebble becomes a philosopher's stone. And here, see if it's working. The businessman realizes his fault. I was doubting such a person. This man who can easily, with the grace of the divine, manifest anything. He's still living in peculiarity, he's living in poverty. And yet, I am here, greedy, even though I have received the grace. So that balance should never be lost. And that is important. Many times we get certain things, we get attached, and suddenly we increase our own market value. Then share markets fall. There's a great crash. That is what happens. Sometimes we receive grace, we get ahankar. Again, whatever is lost, everything is lost, whatever is gained. So let us continue. Well, not just objects, oneness for people also. This is again difficult, but Krishna says this. He says, Suhrun mitrayudasinam adhyastadveshya bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. The enemies are the friends who are dearest, sowers of discord, or the callous or indifferent nearest, the holy saint or the wretched sinner. He who as one perceives is the ultimate progressor. So not just objects, Samata is not only in objects and people also. The enemies or friends. Nowadays in social media, we have the great option of blocking people, isn't it? I don't like this person's philosophy. He has talked bad to me. I'll block him. It's an opposite. But we are not eliminating that our hatred inside of us, isn't it? When we block people as well. Why cannot we tolerate an opposite perspective? It may be senseless, it may be But it is a part of the Srishti, isn't it? It is a part. Then, like Prakriti has Vikara also, isn't it? Do we accept the Vikara or do we turn away from the Vikara? Because if you want to mold, you have to understand. You have to understand. Otherwise, you'll never be able to. So the enemies are the friends who are dearest. Sowers of discord, or callous, or indifferent nearest. Holy saint or the wretched sinner. The sadhu and the papi. You are able to see them with the same eye. Somebody who is able to do this is the ultimate progressor. This looks difficult, but can we just look at it for a moment? How do we treat enemies and friends as one? Dear enemy, please, here is my back. Please stab me. Is how do we treat this? What do we do? If one person hits us and show another cheek and then keep getting hit again and again, or what is the meaning of this? How do we treat enemies and friends as one? Is it even practically possible? This high ideal. Can we start, or do we have to leave it for the poetic world only, not something which can be manifested in reality? Yes, anybody?
As Renuji just said, that
Hmm.
if we are reacting, why does a person misbehave or ill treat us? It is something wrong within him, and he's sad. It's his like his despair leads to his anger, and out of his anger he becomes violent and he misbehaves. So once we realize the pain that he is going through, we develop compassion for him, sympathy for him, and that's how we can
Duryodhana, can we feel that compassion for Duryodhana and forget the battle as Arjuna?
their compassion, not to forget the battle. Of course, to be compassionate for Duryodhana, but not to forget the battle, because
Not the duty.
wrong inside him. There's bad things inside him which has to be annihilated, which has to be done away with. So that cannot be forgotten.
Not a, okay.
Action has to be taken, but not without any
But
feeling
not
of
with hatred.
hatred or ill
All
will.
right. So that
Yes,
is a fine line, isn't it? You're fighting with somebody and fighting
yes.
with hatred. Because hatred is a poison which will consume you only. You will not be able to perform your duty. Even if it's your duty to fight, you cannot hate somebody. That hatred is a what we can say poison. So that's so beautifully said. But what about friends? Why do we have to detach from friends? When in the Gita there was a shloka, Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya, or become, free, not attached to friends. I myself was angry with Krishna. Hey, what is this? Maitri is such a beautiful Sangha, such a beautiful experience. Are you asking me to leave my friend, move away from my friends? I don't understand the logic behind this at all. And for nearly 2, 3 months, I could not write the next rhyme because I did not believe it.
Sir,
But
I
that is,
have a question.
yeah,
Will you
yes,
please
please.
repeat the shloka which you said about Maitri? What Sri Krishna said about Maitri?
Here in this only. Suhrun Mitra Mitrayudasinam. This one only, no? But
Eight.
I talked about yoga, yes, and I just quoted another shloka. Yogastha Kuru Karmani. I think we are yet to come to it, maybe, or I'm not sure if you've covered. Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya. Perform your works in this state of yoga. And for me, I was thinking friendships, and I really value my friendships. So I was like, hey, this is Krishna, you're touching on a very raw nerve here. This is not the point I would like to accept. And that made me stuck because I was attached. And probably the attachment was a problem which I didn't realize then. And that is why I was not able to move ahead. And something interesting happened was that time I released the book in a first part of the book, first 5 chapters, and it was released online. And I had a big acknowledgement list of thank yous. So nearly 8 to 9 friends, their names I wrote thank you to this friend, to that, to this, all 8, 9 names, and I released it online. And I was very surprised it got some kind of record. So I was expecting all 8, 9 friends to contact me and say, hey, that good work. But no, not even 8, 9, not even one contacted me. So much that I sent them the links. I forward. I said, at least please have a look. I even told one friend, please have a look. Yeah. All right. I will. No, I'm not really interested in poetry. So the person didn't open the book only. And so I was so annoyed after, say, 1 week. I was just waiting and it's like, Krishna, now I understand. These friends, you two Brutus, all 8 of them, they have not bothered to even just, even for the sake of courtesy to even open it and tell me. Then he said, Krishna, I just thought, okay, chalo, I accept it. I will not get frustrate myself further. I'll go ahead with the work. I accept this, what he's saying. I should get detached from this frustration just because they did not behave in a way I expect them to behave. So I went to the next sloka. And the very next day, I got phone calls from two of my friends. They were saying, sorry, I was a little busy. I was held up with work. Good job. I don't really understand much of poetry, so I don't know if I can comment about it. But I think you've put a good hard work, so it's good. I was like, useless fellow, you could have told me just 2 days before what was the reason. But no, at the time had to come. But I had to learn through my attachment only, isn't it? So my friends did not cease to be my friends. But you see, the attachment for my friends was the source of the frustration inside of me. To the point that I began to feel, no, these are not really my true friends, or what is the meaning of this? These friends don't care. Of course they care. Friends will care. But friends also have priorities. Friends also are living their lives, isn't it? You can't expect them to leave everything just for your sake. This aspect of this oneness, keep your friends and enemies. There's a dialogue, I think, attributed to a movie, Godfather. My father told me, keep my friends close, keep my enemies closer, because I can watch their movements. So this aspect of oneness, yes, friends will teach, but if you are partial towards your friend, they will never teach you. Your attachments will come in the way. As a good friend, sometimes you have to tell what is wrong to your friend, and you don't have to worry about, no, because this is my friend, or if I lose my relationship. Your Maitri Dharma comes in the way, it cannot come in the way. Your Maitri Dharma teaches you to point out what is wrong. If you don't do that, you are not a good friend. But because of attachments, we forget that. Because of attachments, Dhritarashtra did not teach Duryodhana this bhava of oneness with the Pandavas. Look what it costed him afterwards. Same with enemies. You see an enemy standing in a road which you don't have to take. You'll be happy. Krishna has kept a signboard. I'm not taking this road because this person is there. Later on, you'll feel grateful that you didn't take that road. You can identify. Means if you are conscious. Yes, Karthik ji is saying something? Yes, sir.
Hari Om. So, if you when you say attachments,
Hmm.
so would it be apt to say forgive and forget, or would it be apt to say forgive but don't forget?
Depends if you things which are if it is forgettable. If it is
No,
there are
either
certain
ways
things
there will
which
be.
cannot be forgotten. Certain what I'm saying is like when insincerity is reciprocated from certain corners, and it's like if an enemy, if you see, if a terrorist now terrorists have done a dastardly act, we can say of attacking pilgrims. All right, but this is not at all accepted, isn't it? Can we forget this? Can
No,
we forget this? Can we forgive this also? We can neither forgive
no,
this, we cannot
shouldn't.
forgive, we cannot forgive, we cannot forget. But that will not, should not trigger a reaction of, again, I'll go after killing everybody whom I feel are associated with the terrorists. That is a wrong reaction, isn't it?
So then, would it be apt to say respond, don't react?
Yeah. Respond, but don't react. Respond, don't react. Our forces are doing that only. A soldier who is having this, frustration inside will not be a good soldier at all. Instead, it will be a soldier who is trigger friendly and will suddenly start developing a bloodlust only. I know of a person I have met personally who has had 42 kills to his name. I mean, 42 is a big number. You normally wonder such a person would have seen so much death. He would be little bit hardened by life, isn't it? So many deaths he's seen. He said, I had eaten food next to the body of a slain terrorist the next day. We would eat normally as if nothing is there. Detachment, oneness. After death, that person ceases to be the enemy. And this person, I realized about him after nearly 10 years of knowing him. Never once, most humble, most docile, most unwar kind of means like it's like what a complete family man. You don't know what he is on the inside. Now, isn't that a beautiful way of living? You has done. People would have said, I am more stronger than you. Yeah, all right, all right. Fine, okay. But what has he done is so important and so great. But the balance inside. This is a big world which we have to understand. In sadhana also, it is not required. Desha inside. We cannot. So Smaran should not be lost. Ma Kali lost her Smaran, isn't it? So Shiva, Smruti. So Shiva had to come in between to make her realize. If you know that story, because that is the lie. That is the lie of the force. But Ma Kali's force, we cannot comment on it because that is the force of destruction and it had come with a purpose of transformation and changing. But even in that, the Smriti cannot be lost. That was the lesson in that story. She had to become conscious of Shiva. She had to, because that moment had to come. But this happens. Many times we get trapped. So friends, friendship, you get so attached to your friends, you allow everything. Arey, chalta hai, chalta hai. Chalta hai is the problem. If your friend does something wrong, you cannot condone it just because your person is friend. Or just because this person is somebody you don't like, somebody you dislike. That person you cannot hate all the time, isn't it? Just because you dislike a person or this person is having dubious credentials does not mean that person is always wrong. You can look and sometimes it may be, you can say 95% he may be wrong. But by mistake, he might be correct also, isn't it? You have to become conscious and treat with oneness. Just like objects, even people. Same way. Sowers of discord, the Shakuni Mamas. I think we all have come across many of them. For no reason, trying to add oil to the fire and spoil relationships further. But even them, they're doing their role. They're giving an opportunity for you to remain balanced. They're giving an opportunity for you to see who is going to let their ears get poisoned also. It's all right. It's all right. Source of discord. Or the callous. You fell down, you needed help, but this person did not raise the hand. This person did not help. So will we become bitter? No, we should not become bitter. Not at all. It's all right. That is that person's nature, that person's swabhava, that person's karma. It should not change my swabhava. It should not change my karma. My karma will go on. Then the indifferent nearest. This is the most difficult moment in life. To have an indifferent nearest person. The one you love, the person who is closest to you, is farthest away from you. Now, can there be anything more painful than that? No, not at all. Then what should I do when I have such an experience? Should I be broken? Should I fall? Should I weep? Should I inconsolably cry all the time and then start singing different ghazals? Zindagi ne zindagi bhar gham diye, all sorrow everywhere. No, it's not. What can I do? It's all right. I have to accept it. It's all right. And I have to accept it, isn't it? If I don't accept it, I'm going to create trouble to me and it will be on that person also. It's all right. That person is indifferent. It's okay. I cannot. It's not okay. All right, but I have to accept it, isn't it? That is the truth. Now, this next what? Next step has to be taken. The acceptance is one important aspect for moving on. Otherwise, you cannot move on. And sometimes, until you move on, the next experience does not come. For that, we have to be ready. The holy saint or the wretched sinner. One in Damleji's, when he was very young, in his ilaka, one person had put some wrong message about him to another person, and Damleji was a Pelwan that time. So people knew about him. Ye to Pelwani karta hai. And somebody said this Pelwan told that you are useless and he can easily beat you. And this kind of message was told to another Pelwan. And that one was a very strong gunda. He came with a knife outside of the colony and he was calling Damleji out. And Namri said that person was much bulkier than me also. I would never have said this about him. But whoever said it has created a big situation. Now, how do you deal with this? And he said, I couldn't run away also. Meri izzat chali jayegi. Yeah, I went to him. I said, what is this? No, you think you are so great? Come, let us see who is great. Right now, let us decide. Let the fight be over. Now, at this moment. That time, Damleji just said, Dekho, you are so great. There's a Sanskrit shloka immediately. It says, Durjanam prathamam vande sajjanam tadanantaram. Now he doesn't know Sanskrit. He didn't understand. क्या कह क्या क्या बामन क्या बोल रहा है? This shloka is Durjanam Prathamam Vande. First namaskar is to the bad person, then for the Sajjana. So he's actually pulled his leg, that person didn't understand. He said, see what people will tell if you fight with me. You are a bigger fighter. Your name only will go down. You will beat me, that everybody knows. Instead, what is going to happen? They'll say, hey, you fought with me. What is the use? Come, come, let's keep this. He pushed his knife, he put a hand around his head. Look, everybody is watching us. Put your knife inside. Unnecessarily for me, you should not get in trouble. Come, come, let's go. We'll have a pan. And he gave him a pan and they went in different ways. Everybody was surprised. But you see what has happened here? What has happened is the force of hate or force of discord was dissipated there only. After that, that issue never came. So what has happened is oneness. Otherwise, inside palpitation, frustration, irritation, fear. Of course, you will feel that, no? Normally, if somebody comes to attack you, it is a natural human reaction. But when we take one step back, you're able to see Vivek Buddhi becomes Jagruk, then, then the divine starts functioning through us. Then what? I think we know David and Goliath story also. It can be anybody. It does not need physical strength is nothing for the divine. Dadami buddhi yogam tam dadami balam, everything. The divine gives everything. We have to just be receptive. For reception, again, we need to throw out all the other, what people sometimes call trash. Trash is inside. That has to be thrown out. So the saint or the sinner who can see both as one, that person is a progressor. Don't get too carried away by the outer appearances of saints also. That is what Krishna is saying. Connect on the inside. Connect on the inside. He goes on further. Now for this, dhyana is required. Yesterday we saw one technique of dhyana. That is actually Krishna's technique. It is my favorite technique. One of the specialities is it can be done anytime. And some people, they had fever and they were not able to sit also. And they asked if they could try doing it. Yes, they could try even lying down on the bed as well. It's easy to be done. Focusing on the Brur Madhya, Prana Pana, Samo Krutva. Prana and the Apana is equalized. And the experiences, they are varied. Different people get different experiences. And we are not going to try to make a template of experiences. Let us experience what we get. Now the second one, the important one is going to come in. And now last time Krishna didn't talk about a place for dhyana or anything. Now he is describing. Means it is essential. He says, let us continue. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki yasachittatma nirashira parigraha. The yogi should seclude and devote himself on immersing and becoming one with the Supreme Self. In his solitude, with mind and body in control, free of desire, he should meditate on the soul. Focus and try to meditate on what is the soul. Take some time, Krishna says. Seclude yourself. Devote some time. We all want quality time with our loved ones, isn't it? I want to spend some quality time in my life with my dear ones, near ones. Well, but the dearest one who is inside, we are not spending any quality time. Krishna says, take some time out. Just some time out. Seclude yourself for that period of dhyana at least. Take some time. In that solitude, it is in that quietude. Bring a niyantran or a control on your mind, on your body. At that moment, at least throw your desires away. If you're not able to throw throughout the day 100,000 desires, actually, this is nature. Prakriti keeps throwing desires at us. Unless we strengthen our mind, we'll not be able to overcome them. It is said, Asha Pasha Shatair Baddhaha. 100 bonds. Kathopanishad talks about 101 bonds. That many bonds of desire are there. They are binding us. It's like a very powerful Superman is being bound by different chains. He's walking because he's so powerful. But the chains are slowing him down. When will we cut the chains? When will we become free? That's the question we need to ask. Free of desire, meditate on the soul. Means different mantras can be chanted also, or you can just try to understand the meaning of the mantras. Like Shivoham, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham, or Swatma Ramoham, Bhuma Paramasukhi, Swena Swasmin Swayam Brahma, Swe Mahimni Swanubhutam. This is an experience which has to be got. Because otherwise words will remain words, isn't it? Unless they are experienced. How long will we allow them to be happy, good, nice, beautiful words which create a good feeling? When will we get that taste? When will we get the experience? Are we going to get happy looking at people eating mangoes and telling us they are tasty? No, when are we going to taste it? The time is now, and the time is to be decided by the soul only, by the individual. It is the will. The will is strong, the realization will come. There is no doubt about that. But the will must be strong. Because of moha, we don't will only. Many people say, no, no, not now, not now. My friend said, when we were in college, we were discussing once. He said, no, 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 no. I don't like meditating because if I meditate, he's a mechanical engineer. He's talking some beautiful. He said, I will go into the table. I was not surprised. I said, how? What? No, 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 you don't know. I go very deep in concentration. He actually had great concentration ability and he was able to, though he was not from Pondicherry, he was able to feel certain vibes in just entering in the bus, the word near Auroville also. He said ashram also. He was already sensitive. But no, 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 I will not do meditation. For some reason, he was delaying it. Now he's married, he's got kids, and now randomly we just talked once more. No, no, not now, not now. So maybe when his children finish school, I will again ask him. I hope he doesn't say, not now, that time also. But in life, many times we get trapped and we don't aspire. That aspiration is not something which can be got from outside, it must come from inside, and we are delaying unnecessarily. We feel if I do this, I will lose connect with the world. That is another false, what we can say, claim or whatever false understanding people have. Gita is telling us, isn't it? We're not leaving this world, we're embracing this world. Ihaiva, as Krishna says. Sri Aurobindo talked about material transformation. I mean, transformation of even matter. That is when divine will manifest. In Savitri, there is a beautiful line. And when matter shall reveal the spirit's face. That is something even scientists are aspiring for, trying to identify which route, who will be successful, we don't know. But that is the next stage. So let us take time to meditate. One important message is there in the Gita. Krishna says, have a place, seclude and devote yourself, assign a place. Next shloka, Shachau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasana atmanaha natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. For this, a pure and clean place should be assigned. A position neither too high nor too low he may find. Meditating steadfast on the self, he must assume his seat, made of deer skin, kusha grass, or a natural cloth sheet. What is Krishna saying? One by one we'll see. A pure and clean place. Assign that place. So if you assign a place, let that place be the same in your home. If you are having a big house, you're having a devalaya inside of your house only. Then assign that place. Let it be clean. Take a broom. Use it separately for this. We can say sanctify that place. Take it and wipe that place clean and sit in that same place. Not like today I'm on the sofa, next day I'm on the bed, another day on the chair, another. No, let it be in one place. Krishna says. What are we doing? We are trying to cultivate our aura, isn't it? We saw about those munis of Brahma Nirvana. They're radiating an aura. And in the last technique, Krishna said this was a technique by those who had that great aura of dhyana. So what are we doing? We are charging ourselves, isn't it? So the place we are doing it, let that place be also a spiritually charged place. And many times, people who have done sincerely meditation in one place, the vibes remain even after that person goes in that same place. It remains. That is why people go to the yogis, where yogis dwell, so many ashrams. Why do people go? It's wrong to receive that. But even in your own place, say you are meditating regularly it's like if you can manage 3 to 4 weeks, then it becomes your permanent place. No matter what, you're not going to miss it out if you're able to have that discipline. And then what's going to happen is the moment you come there, you will easily fall into dhyana by default because sanskaras you will create. And these sanskaras will be created on the sthana. There is a sthana devata also in your house. Why when people do Gruha Pravesham, they do a prayer, isn't it? Like there's a Grama Devata, there is a Kula Devata, there is a Sthana Devata also. The consciousness is there. You are going to awaken it. Sometimes you might be very irritated and frustrated because of something in Prakriti. Somebody has done something. Somebody in your business has given you inferior quality stuff or has done something wrong. So that has created a disturbance inside of your head. It has come from outside, not from inside. And you are going to go to meditate. Well, the moment you walk to that place, you will become calm and peaceful. That is how your relation with that place will be established. And that is why Krishna is asking, have a place, he says. And a position, neither too high nor too low. Don't think you are now, I'm in the Himalayas, so I'm extremely high. It's not, it should be a stable position. Don't have too lofty thoughts, or then don't have too depressive thoughts also about yourself. Let that be a balanced place where Krishna is talking about. And next, he says, while you are meditating on the self, have a seat. Assume a seat. Why do you think a seat or asana is required? Anybody? We all have at home this plug points, isn't it? So there is one plug, one lead which goes to earth, isn't it? In electrical points. What is this earthing? Anybody? Anybody knows it? Yes, Rameshji. Yes, sir.
So that the charges don't get go down. It
The
should be
charges go down, isn't it? So no short circuit takes place, no electrical shocks, isn't it, sir? Discharging happens, no, through that.
it should be preserved. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sorry, sir?
Basically, it should be preserved. The strength, the energy, what has been derived, should be within us.
Yes. So we want to preserve our energy, but Earth, Bhumi has the ability to absorb all. All sanskaras are absorbed by the Bhumi. Bhuma Devi is like that. She's bearing everything, she's accepting everything all the time. So that is why an asana is required, because when we are trying to charge asana, we don't want to discharge. Some yogis, even without asana, they meditate. That's different. They have gone into a higher state, that they have reached, that threshold has been crossed. So now it will not get discharged. But when we start, let us start with an asana. Yes, Renuji.
I just wanted to add the circuit should be complete. The transmission which we that there should not be any distribution of energy.
यस यहाँ पे अर्थिंग की जरूरत नहीं है. हमारे इलेक्ट्रिकल सर्किट्स में शॉर्ट सर्किट होता है. यहाँ पे चार्ज ही इतना कम है कि हमें डिस्चार्ज नहीं करना है. ज्यादा हो तो व्हेन इट इज एक्सेस वी कैन प्रोबब्ली थिंक अबाउट इट, बट नाउ इट्स नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. सो वी हैव टू हैव एन आसना, एंड कृष्णा गिव्स अ चॉइस ऑफ आसना आल्सो. ही इज नॉट सेइंग इट हैज टू बी मैन्युफैक्चर्ड बाय Krishna and co. He's not saying that. He's saying choose your asana according to your wish. Options at that time given to Arjuna were deer skin, kusha grass, or natural cloth sheet. Unless we want to go to jail, deer skin we cannot think of today. So deer skin can be kept aside at this moment. Kusha grass, darbha grass, we can easily find those. Darbha mats online also, anywhere, offline, online, wherever you want. But say, okay, I do not have a darbha grass. I'm not able to, it's too costly. I'm not able to afford at this moment. I'm not able to get this mat. A clean cloth sheet is also sufficient. A simple, clean cloth sheet. So, like we said, you have a big prakoshta. Fine, use that prakoshta for meditation. But if your house is very small, you don't have a big room. Use one tile, no? Let that be that tile where you are going to do dhyana. You are going to sit on that particular place only. The place should be a same place. An asana should be there, and focus on meditation. So Krishna is actually giving the basics of dhyana. And these are all tantric, which Krishna very secretly talks about it. He doesn't really reveal too many things because he's probably believing in experience. He wants us to experience and not have what we call auto suggestions. Many times that's unnecessary headache. Somebody says, my Kundalini has awakened. A person may actually have hypoglycemia. I may not know it. Instead, we would want to become conscious. Let us continue. Krishna goes on. तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियक्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्जात् योगम् आत्मविशुद्धये. There, with a single-minded devotion that is firm, with his mind a control over senses, he must affirm on his asana, the seat deeply absorbed in meditation. He must engage in his whole being's integral purification. This aspect, again, this is giving an important message that we must do this sadhana. If we are not doing dhyana, I think there is no reason we should not do dhyana. Krishna has himself said that. Means it's actually sometimes for the lazy people, this is a discovery which is not very good. That I have to do this. But we'll have to rise above that. We cannot outsource our sadhana, isn't it? We cannot ask somebody else to do sadhana for us. Many people sometimes, no, Guru will do, it's all right. I've heard of some shishyas telling their Guru, aapka dhyan rehne do, I'm going somewhere. They're going for a tour with for some kind of vacation or some planning, but they have not even asked anything. Should I go? Should I not go? And just keep your eyes, let your eyes be there. And then one accident, that person got saved. So I heard him tell the Guru, it was because of your drushti, we all got saved. But can one outsource everything? No, 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 no. Let the divine do everything. I will not do it. Isn't it? We should start, we should make ourselves worthy of grace. Reception is important. And how much can we receive? How much we can hold? So what should we do? Improve the capacity of holding. Improve the adhara. Yes, Karthik ji. Yes, sir.
So when I was in schools, my mother used to tell me, God helps those who help themselves.
Yes, yes.
It's
Absolutely. Adhar should become strong, otherwise what happens? People get derailed. Little bit of spirituality, little bit of philosophy, they get it and then they go on the wrong path. The base has to become strong. It is important. It's like a balloon will hold how much air, how much of air it can hold according to the material of the balloon. It is something like that. Sadhana makes us stronger. Tapasya makes us stronger because it is the fire which purifies. Gold also is purified in fire, isn't it? So then why are we not giving the tapobala to ourselves? So again, one more important aspect is there. So dhyana is established. Interestingly, Krishna is going to get a very funny response from Arjuna in this adhyaya afterwards. Krishna is talking about dhyana and Arjuna must be wondering, Arey, what is this? I did not enroll for dhyana workshop and look at this. Gita is supposed to be for me to run away from battle or fight the battle. What is Krishna doing about dhyana? Why is he telling? Well, we don't know. We will see later on. Now, again, the second technique is going to be mentioned. We will look at this technique and then we will stop. It's again, two more shlokas. We'll stop at shloka number 14. This is again another blink and a miss technique. The last technique was in the 5th adhyaya, which we saw the shloka number 27. 5th adhyaya, 27 shloka is one dhyana technique. 6th adhyaya, 13th shloka. One person who was reading Gita for nearly 25 years, they said, I did not see this technique at all. Why? How? I don't know. But it is like this. Krishna has just touched it very softly. He said, I thought Krishna was just speaking about philosophy and not talking about the technique, but it's actually a very practical technique. So yesterday's technique, once in short we look at it, it's about controlling the breath, focusing at this point between the eyebrows. Nothing more is being told how to sit, what to sit, anything. But while doing this, thoughts do come in easily, isn't it? Thoughts come in very quickly. So the second technique is for controlling the thoughts. They say, na kinchid api chintayet. A thoughtless state is reached by the yogi. How to reach it? Well, this yogic technique will make you reach it immediately only. Maybe momentary, but it will help you. Let us see what it says. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan nachalam sthiraha sampreksha nasikagram swam dishashchana lokayan. Keeping the body, neck, head erect and immobile. A stable position he must take in this style. Without his mind or eyes glancing in any direction, on the nose's tip, he must focus his attention. So this is the Nasikagra Dhyana. The tip of the nose must be the source of focus. Krishna says, keep the body erect, the body, neck, head, all in one straight line, in a stable position, in a comfortable position. All right, if Sukhasan, if you are not able to sit in Padmasana, if you're not able to even sit in Sukhasan, sit on a chair is also fine, whichever is convenient, but let it be in a straight line. Try to sit in a straight line, a stable position, without the mind or the eyes glancing here or there. Meaning we have to try to bring ekagra, mind and the eyes, to which point? To the tip of the nose, our concentration must be done. So just for we will try it, unlike yesterday, which we did for 2 minutes. This we will do only for say 60 seconds. But let us do this with our eyes open. I'll just say Hari Om and let us experience in 1 minute. With our eyes open, let's focus at this point on the tip of the nose. Hari Om. Hari Om. We did not finish for 1 minute also. But what was it? Was it strenuous? Anybody? Can you just share your experience? We did it only for 25 seconds.
For me, it was strenuous.
It was strenuous. What were the thoughts going on at that time? No thoughts,
No
isn't
thought.
it?
No
So
thought.
even for a few seconds, we have reached it because sometimes we are plagued with so many thoughts. It's difficult. Yes, Dr. Swarupaji is sharing something.
Yes, it was strenuous. It was kind of feeling of dizziness.
Dizziness was created, but the thought aspect was zero, isn't
No.
it?
Yeah.
So this is something which is like Nasikagra Dhyana silences the mind. Many times our mind is having too many thoughts. We are not able to even deal with it. And we're like, oh my God, I have 100,000 thoughts inside of my head at the same time. How do I deal with it? Well, this is it. Of course, we don't have to do it all the time with our eyes open. Otherwise, we will have what we call squint eyes. And Krishna does not want his bhaktas all to have squint eyes. But this point is when we focus. So we can actually alternate the technique. We can close our eyes, again open them, again close whenever the thoughts are troubling us. Open the eyes and again go back to close till you reach that point where the thoughts will not disturb you. So it's like you're creating a vacuum. And what happens when there's a vacuum? There's a rush, isn't it? So they will be receptive of something. For that, first space has to be created. And this technique will help. Yes, Karthik, you were adding something? Yes, sir.
So I was so it is no doubt indeed it is strenuous, but at that point I think because of the strain, there's the ability to think of any other thoughts coming in your mind is blocked,
Gone.
is
Yes,
gone.
yes. Yes, yes.
At the same
Yeah.
time, it is easier to focus with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
But when you do that, a lot of
Thoughts
thoughts
come
come.
in. So we have to quickly, slowly go to a point. Means open your eyes, stare, again close your eyes, open, and then because this meditation has to come on it, so it will come naturally. And when I joined Amleji in 2011, I don't think I was capable of even being included in a meditation class. Forget whether I was capable of meditation or not. And Damleji told me this thing also, another meditation and all of it. And I went to Damleji and said, meditation कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ. I'm not able to do meditation. He said, कम से कम acting करो. And he sent me off. I was like, what? He said, acting karo. And I thought he was joking. But since he told me, I told him, we'll do seriously. So let us act like we are meditating. I said, what should I do while acting? He said, what do you do? What do people do when meditating? They sit in one place, isn't it? So sit in one place. Don't open your eyes. Don't scratch your head. Don't look here, there. That's all. He said, act like you're meditating. At least slowly the sanskar got created where I could learn to sit in one place for maybe a longer time. Or maybe, who knows, I might have had ADHD which got resolved after meeting Damleji. But this aspect of dhyana, it happens. Damleji says you don't pull and, get yourself into that state. That state comes naturally. So as Karthik ji has rightly pointed out, we have to wrestle with our thoughts initially. But if we slowly understand, become more conscious, the fact that we are aware of our thoughts itself is an awareness, isn't it? Many times we are not even aware of that. We identify ourselves with the thoughts and we start traveling. Instead, here you are now identifying. Then you will be able to understand thoughts. Then you will be able to understand which is a right thought, which is a wrong thought, which is a higher thought, which is a lower thought, which is going to help you move. All this will happen slowly. That is why they say this Sat Asat Vivek Buddhi. Swami Vivekananda is receiving the ananda of having Vivek Buddhi. He got that Viveka, isn't it? So he could see what has to be done for the country, for the way forward. And there is an ananda that you got when you realize that as well. So let us also try. So with this we conclude this sloka. Last part we will complete. So one of the aspiration, 14th one. Prashantatma vigata bhir brahmachari vrate sthitaha manah sanyamya machitto yuktaha asita matparaha. With a peaceful mind that is without fear, the vow of celibacy he must bear. He must seek with his mind firmly in his control a merger into my consciousness as a whole. Krishna is saying this, that with a mind which is without fear, there is no bhaya required inside. Unknown fears keep coming in. We have to keep sending them out. There's no not required, Krishna says. The vow of celibacy he must bear. Brahmachari vratir sthita. Again, what is the meaning? Only brahmacharis can do this technique. Is that what Krishna is implying? Because my friend said, I know now why you are not married. The perks of being single are so much. Now I am realizing is what my friend was saying. So again, sadhana also is not going to be possible for somebody who is in Grihastha ashram. Is that what Krishna is saying? Or all those in Grihastha ashram who are following Krishna should take sannyas. What is the meaning of this? Brahmacharya vrati sthita. Yes, Renuji.
Being in a grihastha ashram, I am following, so I can explain that.
Okay,
I can say that yes, it is possible, and
it is
without
possible.
any attachment. Yes, it is
Without
possible.
attachment means what is in the vrata of brahmacharya means that celibacy, that vrata which they have, that purity in the thoughts. At least at that moment of meditation, let me forget everything else.
Yes.
All my attachments, all my desires. Chalo, theek hai, I have a lot of karma inside of me. It is there. At least while dhyana, can you put that away? At least for the sake of dhyana, for that moment, for a moment. Because when you go into that, then it is like the technique is done, then you get the experience. Water you boil properly for 2 minutes, it will start boiling. But if you say, no, I don't like this 2 minute, I don't follow this technique. I'm going to turn it on for 10 seconds, turn it off. Again on, again off. It will never boil, isn't it? So this is the tantra. This is the tantra. And Krishna says, when you are sitting here, he says, go into that state of silence and seek to become one with the divine. Try to become one during that meditation. So that is why so hum is a great mantra. Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, all Mahavakyas are meditated upon. Even Ekoham Bahusyami, wow, that one consciousness split into so many, such distinguishing of consciousness takes place, so much of them. So any mantra can be coupled. Gayatri mantra can be thought of or meditated upon. Deo yona prachodayat, let that light inspire my intellect. Or share Windows Gayatri. Tat savitur varam rupam jyoti parasya dhimai yanna satyena deepayat. May that light inspire my intellect. May that light come to me. So this is the thing. And workshop of Krishna will get over on meditation in the Kurukshetra, because Krishna only talks about 2 times. These are the 2 techniques. The first one and the second one. And I think those 2 are sufficient from personal experience also. Actually, if you follow them also, other techniques you can learn, of course. We're not saying don't learn them. But practice is something important. And Krishna has today talked about dhyana again for the second time. He says this particular place. Why this place? We will see when in 8th Adhyaya, a second meaning for it. There is some metaphysical aspect of this place also. But let us see when it comes. So, can someone summarize? Or Renuji wants to say something? We'll hear that and then look at the summary and then conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Yes, Renuji wanted to add something?
Yes. Yes, you're speaking about mantras. So when we chant mantras, so what is the purpose of meditation? What I have felt, from thinking to feeling and then becoming. We transcend
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, what a
We
beautiful,
transcend
yeah.
even the mind also. Then the feeling of that I'm not present in this moment, no space, no time. That feeling also arises.
Yes, yes, yes. And all of this, why is Krishna giving this in the battlefield is a big question. It is going to come in Kurukshetra. How is this going to help the archer who is going to do what he called a ghor karma of yuddha? Why is dhyana required there? But it is interesting, isn't it? Krishna is telling it right in the middle of the battlefield. So let us see. We will. Can someone summarize something that we saw today? Anything? Some of the points that you recollect? Yes, please. And we'll conclude after that. Anybody?
Shall I try?
Yes, ji. Yes, ma'am.
So we started off with this concept of Jitendriya, that is to uh, when we just have control over all our senses, then we become very much balanced within. And one thought that came into my mind during this whole session, that it is very good that we are surrounded or we come across so many people that we can know ourselves then, whether we are balanced or not.
Wow.
So
Ji.
it is good to be there with so many people around us. This is the what we say. We don't have to go into a forest. We don't have to go into the Himalayas. So we are confronted, I am confronted, and we can just perceive what I am. We cannot have any false notion that whether I'm balanced or not, I'm capable or not. So in the second, then Krishna talks about clay, stone, and gold. Are we going to give value or worth the same value to all the three of them? This is the question. So this again speaks about not being attached to. Each and everything has its worth in its own place. We cannot devalue anything. And in the at last he says that we are speaking about friends, being friends with so many people. Then why don't we sit into meditation and the friend who is within us, why don't we go and greet him? Just be with him. Meditate. So how to meditate? In this session, we came to know about getting concentrated at the tip of the nose. Yes.
Ji.
And this helps in getting rid of the thoughts which disturb us.
Absolutely.
How to meditate? We have to select a place. First, the place. The place should be pure, and it should be we should stick to one place. We should not go on shifting from one place to another. Why? Because that helps in creating the aura when we sit there. We just slip into meditation very easily if we fix a place. And then position, that position should neither be high or low. That is the balanced position. And in one asana, don't keep moving here and there. What is asana? That is the fixed position. Stiram Sukham Asanam. In whichever position you feel that you are very easy, comfortable to sit, and then close your eyes and go within and meditate. And just connect with the higher self and feel for yourself. Krishna doesn't give so many tips. We have to experience ourselves. From experience, we are going to derive conclusions, whether it is good or not, or what we are doing. So this is all. And sadhana makes us stronger. The more we meditate, the more clarity we gain, the more we are able to face the world.
Yes,
And
yes.
after all, what is the purpose of meditation? To just go into that higher consciousness. From where we have come, we have to merge there.
Okay. And one thing is Arjuna is expected to not merge into the divine right now, isn't it? With the technique.
Yes.
He has to enter into Kurukshetra. So this knowledge that is received, that Arjuna will have to use in the world for Loka Sangraha. So as later on we will hear, this is called instrumentation of the divine, becoming the instrument of the divine. Well, for that, instrument has to be strong and ready, isn't it? Because a good instrument is useful for a surgeon. Bad
Yes.
instrument is not.
Yes, and sadhana will help in that.
Yes,
The more
yes,
we practice meditation, the better instrument or the better tool will become into the hands of the Almighty. He can use us whenever He wishes.
yes. See, and then there is Ananda only. When we realize
Yes.
that, when we experience, then it becomes Leela, free from Maya into the Leela of Krishna. So, all right.
Yes.
With this, thank you very much, Renuji, for a beautiful summary. Let us conclude with the Shanti Mantra. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagat Kurum. Jai Shri Krishna. See you tomorrow then. Hari Om Ji. Namaste.
Hari Om.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Namaste. Thank you.
Jai Shri
Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.